Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're really digging into something significant happening in the digital asset world. We're looking at AFX, a project making a pretty major strategic pivot right now. So if you're trying to figure out how smart money views the future of finance and, what actually creates long-term value here, stick around. This is about a big re-architecting.
It really is. What we're seeing with AFX, it's not just some small update. It's fundamental. They're completely changing their growth model, shifting towards this AICEX idea, an AI-powered centralized exchange. And our job today really is to unpack the why behind it all and the how. How this shift is meant to create real, sustainable value for investors who know what they're looking for. It's strategic.
Okay, let's get into that strategic view then. To understand where AFX is heading, we kind of need to know where it came from, right? Historically, its growth engine was this network bonus system. So basically, the bigger your team, the more people you brought in, the more rewards you got. It worked for quick growth, definitely. But it was mainly driven by recruiting, not necessarily the asset's core value.
Exactly. And that's where AFX is making these, incredibly bold changes now. They've rolled out reforms that aren't just tweaks. They're foundational. They basically tear down that old bonus structure. So specifically, the VIP system, the referral system, core parts of the old model, gone, canceled. And the annual staking program, also discontinued. Now, for people already staking, there's a clear plan. A 100-day refund schedule for their principal and the profit. And maybe the biggest thing, staking rewards, capped at 30 million AFX. Once they hit that number, staking closes permanently. These aren't small adjustments. It's a clean break from the past.
A clean break is right. So the immediate impact, the really clear consequence here is that AFX's growth isn't going to be pumped up by team bonuses anymore. Its value is now supposed to come from its true intrinsic value, market dynamics.
That's the pivot.
Yeah, a huge pivot. Moving from that incentive-driven, maybe speculative growth to something built on, actual economics. But, for you listening, the smart investor, this raises a big question. If it's not bonuses driving things, what is the true value of AFX now? Where does it come from in this new setup?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it gets right to the heart of AFEEX's long-term plan. And frankly, its appeal to bigger money, institutional money. This new valuation, it stands on three main pillars. They're interconnected. First one, scarcity. Look, unlike a lot of tokens where the supply just keeps growing, AFX supply is limited. And crucially, once this staking system closes down for good, tokens aren't just going to be handed out through bonuses anymore. They'll end up held by, genuine users, long-term holders, strategic players. That creates real scarcity, which, as we know, is a basic driver of value, demand versus a genuinely limited supply. Second, and this is huge for attracting serious capital transparency, AFEEX is making sure the price you see in the app reflects the real market price. Verifiable. That's important. It means no distortion. No artificial pumping from referral stuff or weird bonus math. It gives you a reliable, honest market picture. And institutional investors, they demand that clarity, that honesty. And third, something maybe people underestimate sometimes, but it's powerful, community strength. And I don't just mean numbers.
I mean the shared knowledge, the real understanding, the unity among people holding AFX for the long haul. When you have a community like that, knowledgeable, engaged, like Bedrock, they share insights, they support the vision. That's an active force driving adoption, stability, confidence, especially as things get bigger.
Okay, so scarcity, transparency, and a strong, smart community. That feels solid. It really highlights that this new foundation for AFX is about, real economic value, a very deliberate move away from the bonus-driven speculation to something more sustainable, defensible even for global players. But let's be real, moving away from bonuses, that can cause some waves short-term, can't it? What's maybe a big misunderstanding about this shift that smart investors need to get past quickly?
Good question. I think a common mistake is thinking that taking away bonuses means taking away all incentives. But that's not it. It's about removing misaligned incentives. The shift isn't trying to decrease value. It's recalibrating where that value comes from. Utility, scarcity, real stuff. So what some might see as losing immediate rewards is actually fundamentally boosting the asset's core worth. It makes it attractive to a different kind of investor, a more sophisticated one. It's like the project is growing up, getting ready for the main stage.
Growing up, I like that framing. Okay, these are definitely bold moves, especially since the old model did bring growth. Which brings us to the timing. Why make these huge changes now? What's the strategic driver behind doing this overhaul right at this moment?
The timing is absolutely key, and it shows, I think, some real strategic thinking. The catalyst, it's the imminent launch of their AICEX, the AI-powered centralized exchange. That's slated for September. Now, this isn't just another platform upgrade. It's built specifically to attract a whole new class of investor. We're talking institutional players, global funds, investment firms, maybe even corporate treasuries down the line. And what do these investors care about most? Not short-term bonuses. They want credibility. They want sustainability. They want efficiency. Rock solid stuff. They need a totally clear view of an asset's value, a system that actually works well, and frankly, top tech. So this whole restructuring, it's about getting AFX ready for that bigger field, making sure it can handle and actually appeal to global investors who play by a stricter rulebook. It's about building that bridge to serious finance.
Got it. So it's not just launching a platform, it's like preparing the whole environment for these big players to come in. So how does the AICEX specifically give the AFX token itself real utility? What can you do with it?
Right, great point. The AFX token stops being just a reward and becomes like a functional gear in this AICEX machine. Its utility gets baked right in. First off, transaction fees. AFX will be used to pay fees on the AICEX, just like other major exchange tokens. That creates constant demand. Second, privileged staking. Holding and staking AFX within this new exchange will likely offer better benefits and enhanced opportunities. But here's where the AI part really makes AFX useful. It's going to be part of AI arbitrage operations. Now, for listeners maybe not deep in trading, AI arbitrage is basically using smart algorithms to find tiny price differences across markets and trade them super fast. It's profitable, very sophisticated, usually just for big institutions. AFX tokens will be needed for these operations, somehow maybe paying for the gas to run them, maybe for sharing in the profits, or maybe just to access these AI strategies. This turns AFX into something with real tangible function inside a high-tech financial system. That's exactly what sophisticated investors look for.
Wow, okay. That really paints a picture of a functional ecosystem. It's not just a digital chit anymore. It's like fuel for a complex financial engine. Sounds like a really well thought out strategy for this new era. So if you're listening, trying to be that smart investor looking at this, what kind of mindset do you need? How should you approach this transformation?
This smart investor here needs a very specific viewpoint. Strategic, and definitely long-term. First, they don't get hung up on the short-term stuff, the bonuses disappearing, the noise. Instead, they focus hard on the actual use case, the real demand for the asset, its role in the ecosystem. They look past the temporary fluctuations. Second, they get market dynamics. They understand that some panic selling from existing holders, most normal during a big reset like this. It's temporary. Think of it like a chess grandmaster. They might sacrifice a piece, and less experienced players watching panic, a blunder. But the master sees the bigger position, the long-term advantage created. That panic selling, often just a short-sighted reaction to smart repositioning. And here's where it gets exciting for them. They clearly see the opportunity, the potential that unlocks once this AICEX is running smoothly, especially if it launches into, say, a global bull run, a period of broad market growth, maybe more institutional interest overall. That could really amplify AFX's new model. You get this strong new platform meeting a potentially favorable market.
And critically, the smart investor sees AFX not just as another crypto token. No. They see it as an evolving AI financial infrastructure, something being built with an eye towards future links, connections to major global markets like potentially HKEX or NASDAQ down the road. That vision goes way beyond most crypto projects. It's aiming for real global integration.
That's a really important distinction. Seeing the big picture, the long game, the fundamental shift, not just chasing quick bonus wins. It's about recognizing they're building something designed to last. Yeah. A future-proof platform. It really does sound like AFX is on a profound path, not just improving things, but like you said, potentially creating new financial history. What does that actually mean for the future of capital markets from your perspective?
I think it means we're seeing the groundwork being laid for something genuinely ambitious. You can map the journey, starting as, a relatively small DeFi project, peer-to-peer finance on the blockchain, basically. Then this huge step, launching the AICEX, and then aiming, ultimately, for deep integration with global capital markets. It's quite an arc for a digital asset, aiming for global relevance. What we're witnessing is this shift from a coin growing mainly through team building, network effects, to an asset whose value comes from its utility in a sophisticated system and, crucially, from the trust built on transparency and sustainability. This isn't just about a new product launch. It could be pioneering a new standard for how digital assets mature and actually connect with traditional finance. So, connecting back to you, our listener, you're seeing AFX at a really early stage of this new significant path. You're seeing the blueprint for what they hope will become a global AI financial infrastructure. So just to boil it down, from here on out, AFX's growth isn't about team bonuses. It's about scarcity, transparency, and community strength. That's a strategic foundation.
That's what they believe will let them build this global AI financial infrastructure. And the potential there is, it's pretty exciting to think about.
Absolutely. A profound journey, a compelling vision indeed. It really makes you wonder, what could it actually mean for global finance down the line if AI-driven transparency, real utility, and a united smart community become the bedrock? Could that influence how traditional institutions operate worldwide? It's a big question. Definitely highlights the broader potential impact of AFEX's strategic moves. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.